What inspires change? What motivates us? It's what's inside that moves us. What moves you? Get the Scion story at scion.com.
Governor Eddie Calvo has asked lawmakers to change the budget bill that they are working on to include funding for hay raises. The governor had left in a 2% reserve in his budget submittal, and he says that this reserve was going to be used to fund pay raises that were recommended by the Hay Study. The governor's spokesman, Phil Leon Guerrero, explains.
The 2% reserve was in place to help pay down the deficit. As we all know, Governor Calvo eliminated the deficit, and so what he wanted to use was use the money in that 2% reserve to start paying down other financial obligations, particularly an important one that we owe our hardworking government employees, the Hay Study.
The governor's budget did not specify that the 2% reserve was to be used for hay raises. Senator Ben Pangelinan then introduced a substitute version of the budget bill that uses this 2% reserve to pay $129 million in tax refunds. However, the governor maintains that only $113 is needed for tax refunds.
We paid $105 million right now, and so there's no indication that it would go anywhere near what the provision that Senator Pangelinan is requesting. But we want to assure the people that every dollar that is owed in tax refunds to the people of Guam will be paid, and all we ask is that you look at Governor Calvo's track record in paying tax refunds, and we think that it'll be clear that the people can trust Governor Calvo to pay those tax refunds.
We are only able to pay tax refunds because we borrowed $350 million. And so we haven't paid our tax refund because we've set aside from the collections on a yearly basis to make those payments. We cannot borrow any more money, so it is even more important now that we set aside what is required to be paid. The $129 million number came from the Department of Revenue and Taxation.
Although Rev-and-Tax provided this $129 million figure, Senator Pangelinan says he took a close look at the tax numbers over the weekend and says it looks like GovGuam is going to pay out $120 to $123 million for fiscal year 2012 refunds.
So I'm willing to back off the 129 number and maybe go down to 120, which is something that I've presented to my colleagues, discussed about, and then when we make those adjustments, would we free up enough money to pay hay? And so that is under active discussion with my colleagues in the legislature right now.
Senator Pangelinan says they're currently trying to find a way to fit in payments for hay raises, tax refunds, and even COLA. This morning, a group of GovGuam retirees came out to the legislature to lobby for cost of living allowances. GovGuam retiree Frank Hill explains that retirees were asked to sacrifice back in 1994 and have their COLA cut from $1,800 down to $1,100. Hill says the cuts were supposed to be temporary until the economy and finances of GovGuam improved.
From what we've heard, the deficit is gone and, things are improving. So, if everyone is going to be considered, we feel we should be considered too because we contributed to the government of Guam.
I support the governor in implementing the Hay Study for the employees as well as the meritorious. But on the same line, retirees have contributed a lot during their time. I feel that we need to be treated equally when it comes to this, and I'm also encouraging the governor to support the retirees.